Promoters don't ignore artists because they're haters. They ignore uncertainty. But when an artist doesn't get a reply, when an email stays unanswered or a DM is left unseen, the mind almost always jumps to the same conclusion. Maybe I'm not good enough. Silence feels personal. It feels like judgment. And when that silence keeps happening, it slowly turns into self-doubt. Artists start questioning their talent, their sound, and even whether they belong in the industry at all. But here's the truth most artists never hear. In the majority of cases, promoters are not rejecting talent. They are avoiding risk. Most artists believe promoters book artists they believe in, artists they like, artists they think are special. That idea feels comforting because it suggests success is about being discovered or chosen. But the industry doesn't work that way. Promoters don't operate on belief, they don't operate on taste, and they definitely don't operate on emotion. A promoter's job is not to feel inspired, it's to predict outcomes. They don't buy hope, they buy probability, and when probability is unclear, uncertainty takes over. And uncertainty is the most expensive thing in a promoter's world. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Promoters are not in the music business, they are in the risk management business. Music is just the product. The real business is decision-making under pressure. Every show costs money before a single ticket is sold. Venue rent, staff wages, sound engineers, lighting, marketing, security. And then there's the cost no one likes to talk about: reputation damage if a night fails. One bad show can make venues hesitant, partners cautious, and future bookings harder. Every booking is a gamble, and a promoter's job is to make that gamble as predictable as possible. When a promoter considers an artist, they might sound casual or supportive on the surface, but internally, a checklist is running non-stop. Who is actually going to show up? Not followers, not likes. Real people who are willing to buy tickets and show up on time. How many tickets can realistically sell? Not best-case scenarios, not fantasies, but numbers based on past behavior. Will the artist actively promote the show or disappear once the date is locked in? Will they show up on time, handle soundcheck professionally, respect the crew, and perform under pressure? And at the end of it all, the most important question remains: will this night make money, break even, or turn into a loss? If those answers aren't clear, the safest decision is always the same: move on. That's why emails go unanswered. That's why DMs feel ignored. That's why send your music so often leads nowhere. Because music does not reduce risk, information does. A Spotify link doesn't explain turnout. A SoundCloud page doesn't prove reliability. A great song doesn't guarantee a full room. Promoters don't ghost artists out of disrespect. They avoid unknown outcomes out of survival. This is where most artists get stuck, because artists and promoters are speaking completely different languages. Artists send links. Promoters want numbers. Artists talk about passion, struggle, and vision. Promoters think about ticket sales, scheduling, and logistics. Artists talk about potential. Promoters look for proof. Artists chase opportunities. Promoters avoid uncertainty. This mismatch isn't minor. It's the reason most conversations quietly die without conflict, feedback, or closure. When a promoter ignores you, they're not saying you're bad. They're not saying you lack talent. They're saying, I don't have enough information to feel safe making this decision. And promoters always choose safety. Not because they lack vision, but because one wrong decision can undo months of work, damage trust with venues, and close doors that took years to open. Once an artist truly understands this, their mindset begins to change. Rejection stops feeling personal. Silence stops feeling like an insult. You stop chasing attention. You stop begging for chances. Instead, you start thinking strategically. You move from hoping to be discovered to making yourself understandable. You stop asking, "Do you like my music?" and start answering, "Here's why booking me isn't risky." You begin replacing noise with clarity. The artists who get booked consistently aren't always the most talented. They're the most predictable. They reduce uncertainty. They make outcomes easy to imagine. They help promoters feel safe saying yes. And once you understand this game, the industry stops feeling mysterious, unfair, or rigged. It starts to feel logical. This channel exists for that reason. To explain the rules artists were never formally taught, the business rules, the decision-making rules, the realities hidden behind the stage. If you want clarity instead of confusion, subscribe.